A major driver of our state's economy landed in the spotlight during Tuesday's presidential debate. We're talking, of course, about energy policy. Texas is home to more than 1 in 10 of the nation's energy workers. Both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris advocated for diverse energy sources, in addition to expanding production of fossil fuels. Business leaders I spoke with believe that's good news for the Texas economy and for jobs. When it comes to power, Texas wants it all.
We need more solar, we need more batteries, we need more natural gas, we need geothermal. It's all the above and below.
At Tuesday's debate, the candidates seem to agree.
I got the oil business going like nobody has ever done before. By the way, I'm a big fan of solar.
I will not ban fracking. We have got to invest in diverse sources of energy so we reduce our reliance on foreign oil.
Texas leads the nation in both oil and gas and renewables. In fact, when you add up Texan wind, solar, and nuclear, it's almost equal to our natural gas production. While both candidates are leaning into diverse power sources, Texas leaders have a clear endorsement.
There's no comparison. The Trump administration was far better in terms of Texas energy.
The Texas Association of Business points to the Biden administration's ban on liquid natural gas exports. But they also hope that Trump would continue Biden's support for clean energy.
We want to make sure that the promotion that this current administration has on clean energy technologies and also things like hydrogen development and carbon sequestration is continued. We want to have our cake and eat it too.
Investors are pouring money into all forms of Texas energy with a bias for profit, not politics. They say the market, not politicians, should influence energy decisions.
The market allows us, through signals that we call prices, to let us know what it wants.
With the presidential debate still fresh on the minds of voters, we're looking at what the two candidates said about some of the top issues for Texans. Topics like abortion, border security, and energy costs. KXAN's Tom Miller talked with The Hill's Julia Mueller about where Harris and Trump stand.
Let's start with abortion access, which is severely restricted in Texas. Both candidates weighing in on that. What did they say?
Trump, who has said in the past that he wouldn't sign a national abortion ban if he got a second term, sort of dodged questions about whether or not he'd veto such a ban if it came to his desk. Trump in the past has bragged about the overturning of Roe versus Wade 2 years ago, which ended federal protections for the procedure, and he's touted the Supreme Court justices that he appointed to the bench. Moderators during the debate tried to press Trump on this veto question, particularly because his running mate, J.D. Vance, said not too long ago that Trump would veto a ban if it came forward during a potential second term. And Trump said repeatedly that he wouldn't have to, sort of sidestepping the question.
Now, I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother. I believe strongly in it. Ronald Reagan did also. 85% of Republicans do. Exceptions. Very important. But we were able to get it, and now states are voting on it. And for the first time, you're going to see, look, this is an issue that's torn our country apart for 52 years. Every legal scholar, every Democrat, every Republican, liberal, conservative, they all wanted this issue to be brought back to the states where the people could vote. And that's what happened. Now, Ohio, the vote was somewhat liberal. Kansas, the vote was somewhat liberal, much more liberal than people would have thought. But each individual state is voting. It's the vote of the people now. It's not tied up in the federal government.
Vice President Harris, for her part, said that she would proudly sign protections, restoring Roe versus Wade protections, federal protections for abortion, if it came to her desk. She stressed the dire circumstances that some women have been left in after Roe versus Wade, Roe's fall 2 years ago, and said that it's important for her to expand protections for the procedure.
In over 20 states, there are Trump abortion bans, which make it criminal for a doctor or nurse to provide health care. In one state, it provides prison for life. Trump abortion bans that make no exception even for rape and incest, which understand what that means. A survivor of a crime of violation to their body does not have the right to make a decision about what happens to their body next. That is immoral. And one does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree. The government, and Donald Trump certainly, should not be telling a woman what to do with her body.
Now, on the topic of immigration, Trump criticized the Biden administration for the number of migrants who've come into the country, but then he quickly waded into this claim that migrants are eating pets and was fact-checked almost immediately by the moderators. What happened there?
Trump embraced some conspiracy theories about migrant communities during the debate, and moderators again fact-checked him as they tried to steer the conversation. Those claims come as Trump and Republicans broadly have really worked to hammer the Biden administration and Vice President Harris over immigration. That was something that they really hammered Biden on when he was in the race, and since Harris has launched her fast-track bid, they've really attempted to paint her as the, quote, border czar and effectively blame her in part for problems at the southern border.
Final question here. Do you get the impression that either candidate did enough to move the numbers in Texas, where some of these issues are hot topics? And what do the latest polls in Texas show?
Harris and Trump took the debate stage at a time when the polls are really showing them nationally neck and neck. The race is very close, even as Harris has been able to make up some of the gaps we saw when President Biden was in the race. I was looking at an August poll from the University of Texas and the Texas Politics Project that showed Trump up just a few points over Harris in Texas, with 49% to Harris's 44%. Which is, notably close in a race like this. It seemed at times that he was rattled by his sparring with her, that she was able to get under his skin at different points. And so this debate does have the potential to impact the polling numbers just in a race that is so tight. Even the smallest, couple points here and there can make the difference.
Julia Mueller with The Hill, we appreciate you taking the time.
The demand is dire, but it can be difficult for Texans to find mental health care.
It's painful to see many people not have access to care.
Why some experts are sounding the alarm and searching for ways to get more resources to meet the growing need. And later, the push to get crime victims the money they're owed by the state of Texas. What lawmakers are doing to help improve the system.